Hello, I am Realtor Sonja Rankin, and today we're talking about divorce. What's the process of listing a home for sale, and is it even possible if you decide you are going to get a divorce? So, the first thing to do is keep things peaceful and come to a mutual agreement that you do want to sell the property. Only after you've come to the mutual agreement that you do want to sell the property, it's very important to keep conversations very civil and very to the point, and let's keep things as clean and nice as they can possibly be. The next step is to come to an agreement as to what you want the split of the home to be, what you want the profit split to be. Is it going to be 50-50? How much of the mortgage do you owe? So come up with your numbers and definitely get in touch with a good real estate agent, and they can help you to get in touch with the right people. It is sometimes priority for some to have a lawyer, or for each to have their own lawyer to discuss things or maybe even write things up. But understand that when we get to the closing table on closing day, in most cases, most title agents will only write one check, as they do not want to be responsible for splitting up the proceeds, especially if there's a disagreement later on where you say, no, 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 she was supposed to get 40%, I was supposed to get 60%. To avoid that, most title companies will write one check and send it to one account. And of course, before that can be sent, both parties have to sign off on this. A lot of times, people can continue on through the transaction, and up until a couple days before closing, they're able to have everything sorted out. And then a couple days before closing, that's when everything has to be set in stone financially. So the title company knows exactly what to expect to send money, where to expect to send it, and it won't hold up the process. So your first step is coming to a mutual agreement. Your second step is doing everything you can to be cordial, to be polite, to be respectful during this time, because nothing gets resolved if daggers are being thrown in each direction. And I'm lucky enough to have never gone through that part of it where everybody hates each other. But keep it as civil as possible going through this process, because if everybody is at war, nobody wins. And come to a mutual agreement. Then, if you don't agree with putting the money into one account to be, then for that account to be split evenly, if you don't trust your partner or for whatever reason you do not agree that it should go into one account, talk to your lawyer and have an agreement between your soon to be ex spouse and you, and make sure that your lawyers are in touch with one another so that they could draft up an agreement that basically says that you've agreed on these terms, that this percentage is going to go to so and so, this percentage is going to go to so and so of the profit of the property being sold. So of course a lawyer is the best person to talk to about those specifics, because you want to make sure you are protecting yourself, whichever side you are on, it doesn't matter. So in some cases, it is best to wait until the divorce is final and clear, and you have a divorce decree which tells the title company exactly what is required, and you can make arrangements from that point on. But sometimes there are a lot of factors at play, maybe children, maybe pets, maybe other factors that, who knows, where you can't get a divorce right away, or you're choosing to wait a few extra months, and you definitely know you want to sell the property before the divorce is final. And that is where you would make sure you have your ducks in a row financially, and then it makes the transaction a lot smoother. On my part, as a real estate agent or realtor, my job is very cut and dry, regardless if there's a divorce or not. The goal is to sell the property. The goal is to assist my sellers in selling their property for the most money possible, and making sure, doing everything in my power to get the transaction through to closing. Throughout the process of selling a home, just like with any other home, there are going to be times where you and your soon-to-be ex are going to have a discussion. So, you list the property for sale, and now you've got an offer. Wonderful, offers accepted. We've agreed to this. Then, during the inspection, an issue is found with the plumbing, and that needs to be fixed. This is an as-is offer. So, do you, the sellers, want to go ahead and, pay that $500 to get it fixed, or do you want to negotiate with the buyers? Or, there's certain scenarios where we have to communicate. So I do my very best to communicate fair and evenly with both parties, giving them the same exact information. There's never any favoritism. That's always been the easy part of my job, is to be unbiased and to be unjudgmental and not show any favoritism, regardless of what the transaction is. If I have both sides, both the buyer side and the seller side, or if there's a divorce and that I'm working with both the sellers. So it's something that's important to have some things ironed out ahead of time. So just make sure you've decided you both want to sell the property, and then that you both want to, after talking with your real estate agent, that you both agree to the price. And my secretary has just arrived. Hey, Secretary Jimmy, don't mind him. He's getting old. Anyway, so it's important to have things hashed out. And also, while you're working with your real estate agent, sometimes they work as a great mediator, because this is a professional handling a professional transaction, and it's important to just work with each other. Think about it this way, that when you're listing a property for sale and you both know you want the property sold, the sooner you sign the paperwork, the sooner you come to an agreement on the price, the sooner you finalize all of the steps that pop up throughout the transaction, the sooner you come to an agreement on who fixes the plumbing, the sooner it's over with. In our area, it's typical for a transaction to take between 30 and 45 days at the most. And we've seen special circumstances where it may take longer, but really, 30 days has been the max that I've waited or I've gone through a transaction. So after that 30 days, you two never have to talk to each other again unless something legal is it comes up. It's really something that, if the goal is truly to liquidate the property, liquidate the asset, then let's work together to accomplish the final goal, and then you guys are free to not have to deal with this. It's like a band-aid, rip it off, do what you need to do for the transaction, and then regardless if it's a a happy divorce of, hey, we're friends, or if it's a divorce of we hate each other, it's easier to just rip it off like a band-aid, do what is necessary to get the transaction finalized and finished, and then you are free to go your separate ways, or at least for a while. But always be sure to protect yourself. I am not a lawyer. I am not any type of law practitioner. I am a licensed real estate agent and a realtor and a certified military relocation professional. So, when in the real estate business, divorce comes up and transactions come up with couples divorcing. So this is just something that I've dealt with in the past, and I think it's important to think about that. It is still possible to sell your property. If you are getting a divorce and you have filed for divorce, it is still possible to sell your property. Now, there are special circumstances in one way or another that I may not be aware of that could halt that process up. But for the transactions I've worked with, and for the stories I've heard in the office and have shared with my broker, it's possible to do, and I'm here to help if that comes up. And just like I said before, have a plan and have a plan in mind to just be ready to work with each other and get it over with. And it gets a lot better after that. After you've agreed and received the money that you had agreed that you would receive, things seems to be a lot better after that. Hey, everybody did what they said they were going to do, and whether lawyers were involved or not, the task was accomplished. Okay, well, I hope y'all have a great rest of the day, and I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful one. Bye.